So I'd like to thank Aldini and Penny once again. Thank you, it was wonderful.
Oh, you left your bag behind. They left their bag.
And now And now I'd like to introduce the comedy stylings of Joel Feldman.
Gee, I hope you're as enthusiastic at the end of the show as you are right now. Aside from turning off your cell phones, if you could turn up your hearing aids, I'd appreciate it. Because in the middle of the act, I don't want to hear, what do you say? A couple of years ago, I did this here, if you remember, and the day afterwards, I was in the gym, and someone was next to me, and Florence was next to me actually, and she was very nice, and she complimented me, and she asked me if I'd do it again, and I said, I don't think so, you have to write new material, it's very difficult. And she said, no you don't, no one's going to remember it. Well, I hope you're right. But actually I did write some new stuff, and actually I have, the routine is in 5 different segments. And the reason is very simple. You know, comedians spend a long time perfecting their act. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and they spend years doing this. So I figure if I did all the clubs in the United States for the next 10 years, when I'm 82, I'd be ready for the big time. But I'm already in the big time. I'm playing Dalton Place. So my biggest clap. So enough of an introduction. Are you ready to laugh tonight?
Yes.
Boy, you're going to be disappointed. But seriously, you know, I'm getting old, like a lot of us, and after working 45 years in the business world, I finally found something that I'm good at. Doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, I've got it down to a science. But I do admit sometimes I do get bored. And if I do, I came up with a solution. I take a nap, and when I wake up, it's dinner time. So it works out perfectly for me. Of course, the downsides to getting old as well, and one of them is losing your memory, and mine is absolutely shot. And unfortunately, it's not the first thing to go. As the erectile dysfunction commercials are very fond of reminding us, better known as ED, and I got to tell you, I really object to dysfunction. After all, if a woman has a problem down there, they don't call it VD, vaginal dysfunction. No, it's a woman's problem. So I think they should change ED to ER, erectile retirement. After all, the guy's done a hard job for many, many years, morning and night, morning if he's lucky, and it's not dysfunction, he just got tired of the grind. And oh, you got that thing, I wasn't sure, I thought that might pass by when I wrote it. Anyway, so women have these wonderful commercials for their feminine products. Doves flying around, beautiful music. What do we guys have? We've got 2 schmucks sitting side by side in tubs looking out at the horizon. I mean, for the life of me, I've been in advertising for 43 years, and the symbolism escapes me. The only thing I can figure out is the guy's going to pop a pill, wait 30 minutes, and try and pole vault over to her side. Oh, good. I'm glad you got that. Anyway, the commercial that really tickles me the most is the one for Viagra. It's especially the warning they give that if you experience an erection for 4 hours or more, make sure you seek immediate medical attention. I don't know about you guys out there. If I get an erection for 4 hours or more, I'm going to take a video and put it on YouTube. And I'm going to be proud of that puppy. I'm going to be posing full frontal with a slow turn. Hell. I haven't had a 4-hour erection since I was 15, and then all I had to do was wake up and it was there. My problem then wasn't the erection, is I had no place to put it. Now I got a place to put it, and I'm struggling for 4 minutes. I mean, life isn't fair. They also give 2 other warnings, which are incredible at the end of the commercial. Some men may experience blindness and deafness. Now, if you and I saw that on any other prescription, what would we do? Throw it in the garbage immediately. Not a guy, not when it comes to sex. He's got to measure his options. Deafness, blindness, 4-hour erection. Give it a shot. What the hell? Well, the other day I was reading in the newspaper that men think of sex 1,736 times a day. I do that before breakfast. Not my fault. We're all inundated with sexual messages, especially on TV. I mean, the other day I was channel surfing. I came across a soap. I watched it for 5 minutes. I had to take a cold shower. I mean, what goes on there is unbelievable. It's crazy. I was thinking of giving up my subscriptions to the porno sites that I belong to and just watch the soaps. I really had an embarrassing moment about a week ago. My wife and I went to babysit for our 8-year-old niece, and we turned on TV to keep her occupied, and on came a commercial for KY Jelly. And it said that KY Jelly enhances a woman's orgasm. That wasn't the embarrassing part. My niece turned to my wife and said, "What's an orgasm?" And she said, "I don't know, sweetheart, but I heard rumors." It's just terrible. So, you know, as I get older, I'm looking more and more for different types of thrills. You know, you got to make it where it comes. So I came up with a great idea. I bought 4 cell phones, programmed them all with the same telephone number, put it on vibrate, and put them in my 4 pants pockets. Then I called myself from my landline, and I put it on redial, automatic redial. So if you see me walking around Dalton Place with a big smile on my face, you know why. Well, enough about the sex talks. I'm starting to get warm just talking about it. I thought we'd break it up a little bit and have some fun and talk about politics. Oh, scary, isn't it? Don't worry, I'm not taking sides. It's not going to be about blue states. It's not going to be about red states. In fact, I'm from a yellow state. I'm a chicken. I'm afraid to talk about politics. But it used to be, you go out for a nice dinner, you spend an hour and a half, 2 hours with somebody, and you talk about the world affairs, you talk about what's going on. Now, you know, the recent elections, it just changed all the social discourse. Now, even before you go out, you have to check out who you're going out with. I said to my wife the other night, we're going out with the Weinsteins. Do you know their political affiliations? And she said, I think they went over to the dark side. So now, you go out, you have a meal, you compare your medicines, you talk about your current pains, your future operations, you're out of there in 23 minutes, it's over. Now I want to talk about the undecideds. The day of the election, that Tuesday, they were still interviewing people who were undecided. And they said, why are you undecided? They said, well, we need more information about the issues, what the candidates believe. I want to tell you, after 18 months, where you had 20 debates, 2 national conventions, 30,000 commercials, 500 news items, so much information that my eyes and ears were bleeding, these yahoos still want more information. I don't think they should not only be entitled to vote, but I don't think they should be entitled to live. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Okay, we will. Don't worry about me repeating that next year. I think that we'll scrap that joke. It was a long shot anyway. So the last 20, 30 years, destination weddings have been all the vogue. And the more exotic, the better. People go to Paris, they go to London, the Caribbean islands. It's crazy where they're going. I gotta say that my wife and I, we were trendsetters. In 1972, we had a destination wedding. We went to Bayonne, New Jersey. And we sent out 155 invitations. We got back 153 no's and 2 invitations where they wrote in, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Those were from our parents. But undaunted, you know, we decided to go ahead with it. After all, I'd already paid $385. I wasn't going to lose that. And that included one night in the honeymoon suite at the Penny Pincher Inn. So we got to the catering hall, and initially I was very impressed. They had these gorgeous table cards, large, yellow, with numbers on them, till I realized they were to mark shell casings. And shell case. Since nobody was coming to the wedding, I needed help, so I hired some neighborhood guys. I needed a best man, someone to give away the bride, and a ring bearer. So the best man, he took his job a little too seriously. I found him fondling my wife in the corner. The worst part was she was enjoying it. The one to give her away figured, why give her something away where can I make a buck? So he tried to sell her into white slavery. And it took me 5 blocks to catch the guy with the ring. So we ultimately got married, got through with it somehow, and went to the honeymoon suite. We looked at the cot. It would look very comfortable. And the fruit bowl looked very interesting with all these kiwis until I realized they were year-old peaches. But we finally retired that night, and that's when things got interesting. No, get your mind out of the gutter. That's when I discovered that my wife walked and talked in her sleep. So about 3 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, and my wife is standing there, and she hands me a bottle, and she says, "Here's your ketchup." So I take it. She walks around to the other side, gets in the bed, goes fast asleep. I'm sitting there like a yutz, holding the ketchup. That wasn't the worst part. I was waiting the whole night for the French fries. Very embarrassing. Years later, I found that sleepwalking is hereditary. My younger daughter got it also. And we were going to sleep one night, and we were about to discuss the theory of relativity. No, I was young then. We used to discuss the theory of relativity 4 or 5 times a week. That's a euphemism, by the way, if you don't get the joke. So we're in the middle of a heavy discussion on the theory of relativity. In opens the door, and my 3-year-old daughter trots in. Now, it's very difficult to tell if someone is sleepwalking. Very difficult. So I said, "What's the matter, sweetheart? Go." So she went, giving new meaning to the expression "ensuite bathroom." Found out also that my other daughter has a quirk also. She has no sense of direction. When she leaves the house, she gets lost 100% of the time. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So one day she leaves, I get the call 20 minutes later, says, "Dad, I'm lost." So I asked, "What town are you in?" She says, "I don't know. Any landmarks? I don't see any streets or roads. I don't know any." So desperation, I said, "What do you see?" She said, "I see cows." So jokingly, I said, "When you get to the black and white one, make a left." She thought I was serious. She said, "Thanks, Dad." She hangs up. I haven't seen her in 15 years. Terrible. So I lost my train of thought. Oh, that was the end of that segment. Okay. As I get older, I try to keep my health up. I try to stay healthy. I try to keep my appearance up. But keeping your appearance up is very expensive. It cost me $8,000 for this toupee. It was absolutely ridiculous. But I am proud to say that I do spend an hour 3 times a week in the gym. That's 15 minutes of working out and 45 minutes of trying to get up off the floor. I forget I'm not 15 anymore, and you can't hop up. There's no hopping. It's more like crawling on your hands and knees until you get the machinery so you can pull yourself up. This getting healthy is killing me. But I do have a 6-pack. It's in my refrigerator. There's nothing like a cold one after a vigorous 15-minute workout. And something I did last year, very few people know about this because I really don't like to brag. I did the New York City Marathon. I took a taxi. It's a lot easier on the knees and the back. I was pissed off because we came in third. We have a flat. But I know what you're thinking. It's not the right thing to do. Next year I'm taking Uber. They're far more reliable. And we're, health-wise, we're always looking for doctors. We're looking to get healthy, and the back goes, the knees goes, the hips go. I had this terrible pain in my shoulder the other day. I went to a doctor, and he doesn't believe in cortisone shots, so he said he was going to give me a punch in the face. Anyway, he doesn't believe in cortisone shots, so he said he's going to give me a horse pill, and he gives me a sample. And I look at this thing, I said, "Doc, you're not kidding, this is a horse pill." He said, "No, you don't understand. They give this to race horses that have tendonitis." You laugh, I came in third at Belmont. And we're all looking for the doctor to help us out. And you go to any doctor's office and you see diplomas all over the wall. I don't believe in diplomas. They're just, and I don't think you do either. I think we all have the same experience where we meet somebody, and after we leave them, we say to ourselves, how the hell did they graduate? How did they get a diploma? So I want to see the guy's report card. I want to make sure he got a good grade in what ails me. So I have high blood pressure. I went to a doctor, and I was very frank. I said, I would like to see your report card from medical school. Very gracious, he gave it to me, and I read it, and it said A in cardiology, A minus in prostate, and D in hypertension. So shit, I got the hell out of there. That you won't hear that next year either. I guess I have to hit the road. Anyway, I've just about exhausted all my brain cells from memory. So the next segment, I'm going to refer to some cheat sheet. If you just give me a second to refresh my memory. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, this little segment, the last segment, is made up of sayings that we all hear, and they sound initially very profound, but if you dig into them a little bit, they're actually bullshit. Then I also play around with some words. I like words and things and turning them around. So the first one is cold feet, warm heart. No, cold feet, circulation problem. Seek immediate medical attention. See what I did there? I referred back to the... Okay. Dirty old man. That's a misnomer. If that was true, I'd be a dirty old man when I was 12. Just take out old and it would be an accurate statement. Here's something that we all hear, I'm pretty sure, from time to time. Someone dies. Invariably somebody says, I just spoke to him yesterday. Well, guess what? You're not going to speak to him today, and if you do, he's not going to answer. Another saying that's very close to that, and I'm sure we've all done this, an appliance in our apartment breaks. And we invariably say, it was just working yesterday. Well, everything's working before it breaks. Here's one, never go to sleep angry. I tried that myself. I haven't slept in 13 years. Oh, this is one of my favorite. And it's always a couple on TV, and the woman says, we're pregnant. That's like him saying, we're going to have a prostate operation. When my wife was expecting, we weren't pregnant. We didn't throw up for 60 days straight. We didn't have to pee every 3 minutes. And in the third trimester, we didn't need a crane to get us off of the couch. We weren't pregnant. All I had to do was go to a few Lamaze classes and make some late night runs for Rocky Road ice cream with anchovies. And that was for me. Where there's a will, there's a way. No, where there's a will, there are beneficiaries and siblings fighting over the will. I'm embarrassed to say that when my mother passed away, the first thing I did was to hire a lawyer to protect my interests. Total waste of money. I forgot I was an only child. I told you I had a bad memory. Happy wife, happy life. And that's usually said by a couple, and that's said by the guy with a very weak smile. Happy wife, happy life. Wrong. Happy wife, quiet life. We love you, ladies. We love you to death, and we want you to be happy, because we know if you're not happy, we're not going to hear the end of it. Over and over again. Just the other day, I spoke to my friend yesterday, and I asked him, how do you like the Super Bowl? And he said, I didn't see it. I said, why? He said, I had to go to my wife's mother's house. I said, well, she kept bugging me. And she said, and I said, we've been there three Sundays in a row. She says, I don't care, you know, how much longer does she have? And I said, she's only 58. She said, I don't care. So he went, happy life, happy wife, and quiet life for him. Now, ladies, when you go home with your significant other, you're going to ask each one of them, do you believe that? Do you believe happy wife, quiet life? And every guy's going to say, nah, sweetheart, don't worry about it. The guy is a comedian, he's just joking. Ladies, trust me, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. No, the bigger they are, the harder they hit. And I know from personal experience. That's why I try to avoid fighting at all costs. First of all, I'm a bleeder. Second of all, it's against my religion. I'm a devout coward. When I was born, the doctor thought I had jaundice because of the yellow streak down my back. And the last one of my act, my favorite, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I have one word for that: lower. I can go on any. I'm not finished yet.
My legs got stuck.
Yeah, good. Thank you. It's my big finish, and you screwed my big finish. Anyway, I can go out for a good meal anytime. But to get a good, well, I'll leave it at that, but I just want to say one thing. In the history of this world, no man ever said to a woman, "Hun, you give good pork chop." Thank you very much.
Joel Feldman. Thank you, everyone. I hope you